So, hello there, welcome to another live stream. Today we are doing another Pokemon. Yesterday we done the armored Mewtwo, and today we are going to do the Blastoise. Okay, it's a really cool character as well. Not as cool as the Mewtwo, of course, but it's nonetheless it's cool. So, for now, what I'm going to do, let me just see if everything is working. Okay. Yeah. So for now, what are we going to do? We are going to use our trustworthy Dragonhawk Volt Pro Year of the Horse for this, with 2.5mm stroke, 5 volts, around 5 volts. It could be a little bit higher or a little bit lower, and a cartridge, a ballpoint pen cartridge to be able to tattoo properly on paper. Okay, so let me just say hello to everyone. And let's start, okay? Now we are going to start, as always, as I always say, we are going to start from the top to bottom, and particularly on the darkest areas. So we are going to start here with the black areas. We are going to block the areas that we need to be really black. For now, just outlining them. Okay, sorry. Let me just adjust here the exposure, because these days are really crazy, you know. It's raining, and eventually the sun comes out a little bit, then goes away, so I have to keep adjusting the exposure so you guys can see clearly what I'm doing. So as I said before, for now we are going to block this area, okay? And now the sun really came out. To block these areas, we just need to cross-hatch a couple of times in different directions. Of course, there's the cross-hatching, so everything stays darker and uniform. You can also do this using like circular motion, like doing small circles around the area, so you can feel it a little bit more. Hello Jamie, all good? Also, I'm going to tell you about, oops, let me just, about the loyalty points, okay? Yeah. It's there. So this area is already like blacked out perfectly. We just don't need to go over this, okay? And now this is the inside of the Blastoise cannon. It's a little bit, it's like a mid-tone-ish So here you have to be a little bit more careful. It's like in a mid-tone to an highlight. So we are doing like a really small fade here. Like the lower area should be a little bit blacker than the top area. And we are going to do just that. Okay, so it is like a really nice fade. Also, let's do a little outline around the whole area. Okay. So we don't miss here the little details. Since we are not working like with organic shapes like faces and whatnot, we have to be a little bit more careful around the outlines, because things are way more marked than the proper organic faces, right? And now here we have like a complete highlight here. We don't going to touch this, just going for the outline. And now here we have a little bit of shadows. Also here we'll have some reflection from the blacks, and we're going to do so, like filling in. Also here. Okay, and now we can, hello, Just Lark Shotgunner, all good? And now we are going to start with a light, really light base, so we can after that increase a little bit more the tones, whenever we just need, you know. Just going to do some cross hatching here, so the dots are perfectly spaced out. It doesn't have a proper direction, let's say. So they are a little bit random. Okay. And now the inside here, it's a little bit darker. The outside it's this tone, it's light, and the inside is a little bit darker. So we are going to do a little bit more cross hatching around the inside of it. Okay. It's not supposed to be way more darker. It's like really a mid-tone, just a tad more than the rest. Just a little bit more. Also, if you guys wanna check out your points, you just need to type exclamation mark and points, and you are able to check where you are in terms of points. Okay. In terms of loyalty points. Now just going for the outlining. to separate everything. And now this area, this is a little bit darker, this outline. And now the area where it will be like blank, we are going just to be a little bit more careful. Just to slightly stipple really faintly. So there are not a lot of markings around here, just a couple of dots. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Also, we need here to outline this on the shell, because this should be also white. So we are going just to do a slight shading of light into blank, like a negative space. Okay. And now let's go for this area that should be all black. Do you guys out there enjoy Pokemon? I certainly do. This area should be way darker, almost pitch black. Because this will be like in the shadow of his cannon, right? Okay. We just adjust here a little bit more. Yeah. Also, around here, there's also a little bit more black to it. Oh yeah, this should be all black. Okay. I'm trying here to build a sense of community around this technique, you know. I launched a Reddit community on Reddit, subreddit, let's say, on tattoo stippling on paper. So you guys can, if you want to, can share your designs there, ask for advice. So this area should be almost black. And this area should be a little darker, but not black. Okay? The difficulty here, it's really like achieving the tones we need, since we are only using one color, right? So we have to work with dot density instead of any other like dilution, like it would be if we were tattooing. If I was properly tattooing this, I would use like different dilution system, okay? But since we are only using black, it's a little bit more trickier to do so. This has like a clear line, but I don't like that much to place like really harsh lines into my designs. So I'm going just to smooth it out a little bit more. Also here. Here we already have like a light, really light from here, and then it will dissolve into something a little bit darker. Yeah, like this. Now on the nails, you have here like the mid-tone, we start always, not always, but as a good rule of thumb, you can start on the darkest tones and then we go over it with our lightest. Yeah, like this. Just going to darken up a little bit more here, that's fine. And as I already said before, we are starting always from the top down and from the right, or from the left to right, so we don't smudge the whole design. And here we also have like a little gradient, like from light, here will be light, mid-tone and dark tone. So now we are just expanding until the mid-tones, the light is already done. Now we are working on the darkest tones, okay? This way you have a smooth gradient, an easy and smooth gradient, right? And here there's a little bit of really dark just here, okay. Now for the other nail. Let's firstly outline it, then give it a really light overall. Like for instance in here, I done like the opposite of this one. Well, it just matters how you prefer to work. There's no right and wrong. And here a little bit darker, just leaving like a highlight here. And also here it will be a little bit darker as well. Okay. Yeah. Now the third claw. We can do the other approach here, for instance, like blocking first the darkest areas, going for the midtones, and now going for the highlights. Adjusting it a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Now, for the inside, we have here like a really dark area. Yeah, and all this should be like back to black. As you can see here, I'm just stippling on one direction, and after we fill this up, we are going to cross hatch and do the same in the opposite direction. So we don't follow like so people can see a proper dots direction to be more uniformed. As you can see here, right? And this here is just like a mid-tone. Okay. Now, Just have here a small little line. Also here. Also here. And that's it. The rest we are going to shade first lightly. Okay. And now here you have a little bit more dark. And here on highlight. And also here it will be a highlight and the rest will be darker. Just trying to fade a little bit of this inner black. Okay. And going to reinforce a little bit more here the separation between the claw and the rest, the inside of the hand. Yeah, so it remains a little bit more visible. Okay. Now the down part, it's also a little like with the same mid-tone as this, except for a small highlight here on the bottom. Let's try to do that without screwing up, because the space is really tight. Okay. Don't want to go all the way. And now this area here also, let's go for that really light shading as a base. And okay, and after that let's start on the darker areas here along the finger, the claw. You'll have like a darker area here. Okay, and also have here some indent, also a little bit here as well, and going down more. Okay. Okay. Now we already have, sorry, it's way too bright. Now already have like his right arm, and we can go way down towards the leg since we are here. Here we'll have like a almost black down area all around here. Here some lights and here some mid-tone. Okay, so what we are going to do is just to block the areas that will be black. this whole thing. The problem here is that the area beneath it will be also blacks, but we are going to try to pull a little lighter tone, so it doesn't look like all a huge blobby black area, you know? Okay, let me just check if everything is okay here during the streaming. Hello. Yeah, it seems like it. Hey hey, hey hey to all. Now really careful, because here it will be like almost white, not right here. Here we can go a little bit harder. Now I'm going to stretch here a line to help us define here the knee. Now start working on the lower leg and feet. Now here it will be like the tricky stuff. This will be like art as well, but here already it isn't. Here you already have like a mid-tone. And right here you already have like full black. But what we are going to do for now, we are going to establish here a little breathing line between the top tier, so it doesn't seem like connected, you know? Also here you have a little mid-tone on this area. So start here with a full black, almost in the middle, and we'll start then working our way towards the sides. Okay, so we have already here a small gradient towards like a medium tone, and we have to work that also towards here. Okay, and as you can see here, this little breathing line we gave, it helps a lot to identify and separate those areas, right? On the lightest parts we can really do like a line, a proper line, and on the blackest areas we'll just leave like a little bit of a negative space, so that can breathe a little bit. Now with the claws, like here we already have like a really light tone and some highlight there. I won't be touched. Here the same. We have in the middle a little highlight, so we won't touch that highlight, just to create a little bit of contrast, since this area has a lot of blacks. We'll just leave it open. Okay, and also here as always, and hello Renata, all good? All nice? So, okay, so this right side of his body, it's almost done. Never is finished, it's never finished, let's say. So just need to continue that area. It's never finished, but because we'll see that in the end if we need to retouch anything, but for now that's okay. And now we are going to deal here with his shell. Okay, this should be white. I will leave it as white. just to create that extra contrast I was talking about. Because this whole piece will have a lot of black and a lot of dark areas, so we need those white open spaces just so the drawing can breathe and have a little bit of extra contrast, so it doesn't look way dark or too much muddy. Even on the lightest areas you can cross-hatch just to hide the dot orientation, right? Okay, that's cool. The exposure is good for you, that's fine for you. Just to let me know if you need it a little bit darker or lighter, because I think I can do much more lighter than this, so you can get all the shading. So working now on the rest, the shell, as I said before, this will be left like open, okay? This won't be touched. I'll just leave it as that. I'm going just to place here a really dark, really black area so it contrasts with the rest. Yes, it already like pulls everything to the front, and also this area should be black. Yeah, that's good. Now, for this thing, we're going to leave this little area here untouched. Just going for the outline, since the top area should remain without touching. And now here, we'll start like those light fades. And here we'll develop a little bit more shadow to have that mid-tone look. Okay, perfect. Now let me just, okay. And this is also dark. Okay, and this is a little bit lighter but also dark, so we can, it's a little bit light, it's a little bit hidden on the rest. Now here you have like a small reflection, And here we'll just have some really light shading, and the rest will remain blank. Okay, since we are dealing here like with metal, you'll just leave really high contrast for high reflections, right? Now for the top shell, we also will leave like a really small breach here of white, giving first the light layer, and then secondly let's darken up a little bit more. Okay, yeah, like this. Hello Bruno, how cool with you guys? Are you enjoying? Don't forget to have a look at the message I posted here about the loyalty points. As soon as you reach 1000 points, you'll get a drawing from me, now sent to your house for free. So the way to get that is by watching, keep watching, because the time you are watching will count as points as well. And the comments, and if you want you can check if you just like type if you just type here like I don't know if it was like top points. Let me just check for a moment, please. I think it's top points about loyalty. Well, if you check for exclamation mark points, you just have the you just have your points. However, loyalty, yeah, no, it's just exclamation mark top, and you'll be able like this. Okay. Thank you, Night Owl makes. Yeah. Well, you have proper stippling that you should do like by hand, like dot by dot. However, this is a regular tattoo machine, right? And you have a cartridge here with pen ink that you can stipple on paper, right? That's what I'm doing. The vibe is completely different from stippling, because when you do stipple, you do like dot by dot, and the end result, it's, in my opinion at least, it's way prettier, let's say that, at least for me. However, I don't have the patience to do that. like a regular design like this, using this technique takes me like, I don't know, like 1 hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, if it will be like a little bit complexer. And I know if I was doing like a proper stippling, like dot by dot, it would take me probably weeks or I don't know. So I really don't have the patience to do that. And since I'm a tattoo artist, it just, well, it feels, it means something, right? Yeah. That's why my username is Anxious Pokes, by the way, because I really like for instance, I really like the hand poke aesthetic, you know? And it's almost the same as what we are talking about on stippling, because you have to do dot by dot, right? But I really love that aesthetic, but that takes so much time to do that I don't have it in me, you know. I just don't have it in me to do that. So, well, I just go for the tattoo machine and yeah. But I appreciate a lot people who do that kind of work, the stippling, because it's really time consuming and you have to really dedicate a lot to that. Yeah. Also, I would love, for instance, I would love to tattoo much more people using the hand poke style, you know. However, people don't want properly that style. They want just things to be nice and complete and fast, let's say. And yeah, and that style doesn't allow you to be like fast. And my work is way more commercial, as a tattoo artist at least. Is way more commercial, so people just want what they want and want it quickly, you know. Right now I'm just blocking here the midtones. And now we are going for the... Oops. Okay. And now we are going... Well, this won't be like the midtone, it will be like an almost dark tone, because now we are going for the midtones. Now it's the toughest part, because of course it's the face, so it has to stay like it should be. Well, yeah, no doubt. I'm a 5-year-old tattoo artist for now, and obviously the skill just didn't appear, right? You also have to work a lot and train a lot, so that you make a point as well, yes. And even like in a certain way, doing this on paper, it's a little bit easier than proper tattooing. In other ways, that's not that true, you know, because as I said before, like paper, like skin, it's much more forgiving than paper, you know, because if I mess things up here on paper. If I misplace something, if I go a little bit darker in some areas, there's no way to go back, you know. The dot is there and that's final. On tattoo, the skin is a little bit more forgiving in that way, you know. Because if you accidentally misplace something, you almost always can override it and try to correct the mistake you done. It's a little bit easier. Yeah, but yes, but that's not just that, you know, because, well, you see, here on paper we are touching literally with the tip of the pen on the paper, right? And if we just misplace a small dot, that will just stay there. On skin, since we are dealing with depth, you know, because if I just place a dot, but like in a, let's say, a 0.3 millimeter from the skin, I know it will not stay there, you know, the dot will disappear because it's higher than it should be. So you have always like a little bit of a margin. Alex, it would be really cool to do so, but well, as I said before, like most of my tattoo work, it's much more commercial, you know, so people usually don't ask me for this kind of stuff, unfortunately, and that's why I bring this stuff to here. But I would like a lot, really. Yeah, thank you. No, I'm Portuguese. Portuguese. You thought I had like German vibes? So here the face, we are taking a little bit more because, as I said, it's a little bit more delicate. If the face is wrong, you can tell like a mile away. Thank you, Alex. But yeah, that's really different between and there's something. No, actually no. Things here in Portugal are really relaxed in a bad way. At least for me, it's in a bad way because it should be necessary so for you to have like some kind of a license, I don't know, because like for instance I don't know if I don't know if you guys are tattoo artists or not, but imagine if there's like someone like from like a cafe owner or something like that. They just remind themselves, well, tomorrow I'm going to be a tattoo artist. I have money, I'll just buy a space, I'll buy all the stuff, and I'll just start tattooing, and that's fine. Here in Portugal, that's all you need, right? No degree as well, yeah. You don't have to have anything to start tattooing here. You only have to comply, of course, with some laws. But that's just for the hygiene sake on the space, you know, on your store or private studio or whatever. That's the only thing you have to go. Well, I don't think so. Well, not anymore, you know. They passed a law like in a couple of weeks ago that tattoo is legal. But there's a difference, you know. There's a difference between almost something being almost completely illegal, that was tattooing there, because no one will take like a proper medical license to be a tattoo artist, for God's sake, right? And that would turn almost the tattooing as an illegal practice. But there's a difference between having a license, needing a license to do so, and almost being illegal, you know, because you should be able to demonstrate that you are capable, that you know what you are doing, and you know at least the minimum of cleaning stuff and cross-contamination and whatnot, and that should be like the minimum, you know. Night owl. Okay, nice. Really? Very well. Yeah, what inks do you use looking at skin? Yeah, there's a couple of brands, let's say, that I use. For black, I almost only use Pantera Gold Black. That's like my go-to choice when I'm tattooing. For colors, I don't do much color. Honestly, here in Portugal, people don't appreciate that much the tattoos in color. They much more prefer black. But for color, well, it just depends on the tones, really, what I could need. Yeah, because about Night Owl, yeah, Spanish and Portuguese, there's a little bit of friction there, you know, because we as Portuguese, we tend to facilitate a lot of things. And for instance, when you go to Spain, when the Portuguese go to Spain, they just simply don't care. And unless you talk their own language, I have like a really small. Thank you. Tattooing, yes, it's my full-time job. I'm just this thing I'm doing right now. It's like a New Year's resolution that I taught myself to grow my YouTube channel, to start working, to start practicing daily. So, like, both things resulted on this, on doing like everyday live streams practicing basically, so I can do both at the same time. Well, I'm tattooing for 5 years now. Professionally for 5 years. Hello, Almanuelia. All good? But I was saying, I don't know, No. Didn't had anyone doing this. My background is in cinema. But I was always interested in tattoo, of course, in tattooing, but as a customer, not as an artist, let's say. But someday I was shooting like a documentary, on tattoo artists, and I reached to a pal, to a friend of mine, who was a tattoo artist, and the session was really long, and he was saying that he's going to do like a small introductory course on tattooing, and I was thinking like, well, why not just give it a try? I never thought of myself as a tattoo artist, honestly. Never thought that could be like a possibility, but then I just went like, well, what the hell, let's try it. And yeah, I tried it, and I really loved the whole thing. So Dragonhawk is the brand of the tattoo machine. Yeah. Fold Pro. Okay, nice. Zachary Davis, nice. I also have like a partnership with Dragonhawk. Actually, they sent me this machine. Also other stuff to try it on. So I also have like a coupon code, It's if you need to actually buy anything more from them, you can use my coupon code like AnxiousPokes10. How long the battery in this lasts? Yes, yeah, you can change batteries, and changing batteries it's really easy, Well, this one I think it could last eventually like around 8 hours, yes. But changing batteries is like this. Like you have 2 batteries here. It's just picking this up. You don't need even to unplug, Just pull it out, okay, and reattach. Connect it. I was going to tell you like a little bit of a story about the Spanish and Portuguese, because when I was younger I went to Spain with my girlfriend, and for instance, let's say like in Portuguese, if you want a beer, it's called cerveja, okay? Listen to the sound that makes cerveja, okay? The Spanish word for cerveja is cerveza. It's quite similar, right? It's almost the same. Cerveza, cerveja. So I went there and I asked for a cerveja. The waiter didn't knew, or at least he made like he didn't knew what I was asking, on the cafe. And I had to fold myself. I have to fold myself like, well, I want a cerveza. And then, oh, okay. Come on, like cerveja, cerveza. It's almost the same. It's not like two completely different words, you know, like, come on. They are really strict to their own language. Here in Portugal, we can talk quite fluently. Even people who doesn't have like a proper education can learn English, Spanish, whatever. But if you go to Spain, well, you have to talk Spanish. Yeah. What's the difference when you're making lines and when shading? Yes, well, yes, there is. For instance, here you have volts, right? And volts is like the speed on which the motor works, so the needle or the cartridge here goes in and out. So the higher I go, the more quickly the needle goes in and out, okay? And that is fine for lines, for packing. If you want to shade like I'm doing here, I want to go really slow. So instead of having lines, I have small dots, okay? So since my hand motion is faster than the actual coming in and out of the needle, or here the ink, the pen cartridge, since my hand motion is faster, instead of making a line, I'm making a couple of dots, okay, spaced out, right? Also here you have another thing that's only for now proprietary from this specific brand. That's if you double click on the power button, you have like some kind of like a stipple mode, you know, and it can go really low. Can you see? I don't know, like tuck 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 tuck, you know. It can go a little bit higher. Yeah. But mostly the difference between shading, lining and packing is mostly around the voltage that you choose and your hand motion, your hand speed, let's say. The slow mode is just like for this kind of shading, you know. That you don't want to fully pack everything. You just want to create like some nice dots scattered, okay? However, as always, this is not like a rule, you know, because as you can see, like my hand is being really fast, you know. No, it's not like a pencil and paper, because here, I don't know if you can tell, but here I never push the cartridge and the tattoo machine into the paper. I'm just like almost floating, you know, with the machine almost floating, and just flicking, and it's a lot different than properly pencil design. And usually, and I have this from a lot of people that say, well, you should be really good at drawing and whatnot. Honestly, it has nothing to do with drawing, really. The drawing only helps in a certain aspect, and it's about the concept, of course, right? Like if you are good at drawing, it will be a little easier for you to come out with good designs. That's obvious. But you don't need to be good at drawing to be a good tattoo artist, okay? Yeah. Yes, that's that. Yeah, well, yeah. There's also like proper stencil machines to to place the design whatever we want on a body. Okay, okay. No problem at all. Yeah, but this is something. How much this retail for? Okay. I don't know. Let me just see. I guess it's in the range of like $300. I guess this one. Okay. But you have also other options from them, of course. But this one, it's a really cool machine to have. Pop. Let me just check to be pretty sure of what I'm saying, because I also don't want like people from Dragonhawk to be seen like giving false information about them. No, they are really cool. With me at least, they are really cool. Yeah, it's $319 for the machine, the second grip, and 2 batteries, and a RCA connector, basically. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, you can do that. You can also tattoo with just one needle, you know, like with hand poke. That was what we were talking about. However, if you want like the versatility and speed of things, yes, you should invest in something a little bit better. But I was saying, it stays like with 319. Like I have like a coupon code for that. It's Anxious Pokes 10, and it gives you like 10% off. So it will be like around 280 something dollars. No, the needles you buy separate, right? Because the only thing that when you are tattooing almost separately, they don't come with the machine. Unless you buy like in a package or something like that. No. You have always to, if you are actually tattooing. I'm talking about actual tattoo. Like for each person, you have to open different needles, right? And most of my work, I would say, you will need way more than just one needle. Okay. Like not a fine line. Like if you are doing like fine line work, probably one needle will be enough. But if you are doing stuff like this, like shading, like realism and something like that, probably you are looking on getting like at least like 5 or 6 needles in just one sitting. In this thing, there's like a pen. You have like inside here. That's a really small. I don't know how it called, like a tube with ink, so the ink comes out. If you are talking about real tattooing, you have to put the ink on a cup and you just dip. You are dipping the needle. Yes, they come different sizes, shapes. depending on what do you want to do. For instance, if you want to work only in line work, if you just want to do lines or even do this kind of work, you can use round liners, that's the name. If you want to do shading, like some realistic shading or large area packing, you will use probably curved magnums. They are like more like a brush, like flatter. If you are just packing with no shade, with no realism shade, you will use like flat magnums. If you want to pack small areas, you will use round shaders. So yeah, there are different terminology to needles and different sizes and shapes. Yes. That was what I was talking about. It certainly depends on what do you want to do. If you want to line, you use round liners. If you want to shade or pack small areas, you use round shaders. If you want to pack large areas, you will use flat magnums, and if you want to shade like in a more realistic way, you will use curved magnums. So yeah. And inside of each of these categories, you have also different sizes, of course. No, in this case, I'm not using, well, it's different, you know. In this case, I'm not using, I was talking about real tattoo needles, okay? In this case, thank you, night all. Thank you very much. See you next time. Have a nice Thursday as well. Alex, I was talking about different needles. Yes, different sizes. Yes, for instance, inside the round, for instance, the round liners, you have different sizes, like between 1 to like I don't know if there's a lot more, but it's around like 18 needles, you know, in a single cartridge. But this is only in tattoo needles. This is not a tattoo needle, right? This is like an ink pen cartridge, and it's only has like one tip. That's different. But also for this kind of work, if I was doing just like this on tattooing, I also wouldn't use much more than one type of needle, okay? I probably would use like a 3 round liner. That's a cartridge with 3 needles inside. It's like the smallest configuration, let's say. It sounds a lot like it's 3 needles, but it's really small. now working on the belly, and here you'll have to be really careful because there's a really highlight areas here, so we have to be really gentle with this. Almost. And also, I thought you said like you bought to your girlfriend a tattoo machine, right? If she's starting out, I don't know if she's starting out or not, but if she's starting out, I would strongly suggest her to start by doing this kind of work, you know? Like buying some ballpoint pen cartridges and just buying like a watercolor 300 GSM paper. Oh, okay, sorry. I missed it. Sorry about it. But are you into tattooing, or are you just curious about the whole thing? Yeah. You should, at least to see what the whole fuss is about. But that applies also to you. If you want to give it a try, start like this. Don't start right on your leg or your body. Start doing some work like this. Okay, nice. Just going to mark a little bit more here on the head area to separate more. Well, no, I just don't like it. A lot of people do that. I just don't like to do that kind of stuff, just because like there's no regulation here in Portugal on that kind of stuff. But for instance, in the UK, tattoo artists don't have permission to use numbing creams because it has lidocaine, and obviously there's people that can react badly to it. They could have like allergic reactions, and that's obvious that no one will know that if they have like an allergic reaction to something so specific, right? Like even if I ask, well, do you have any allergic reaction to lidocaine, people will say, well, no, I don't know. So yeah, so I don't like to gamble in that way, so I just prefer to take it a little bit lighter, and if people are just not handling the pain, we just like divide in multiple sessions. Yeah, kind of, yes. That's why I was talking like that. I would much more prefer to have like a more stricter legislation on tattooing, you know, because also there's a lot of people coming here and just starting tattooing like with really low prices, since there's no need to get any kind of approval or whatever, and that's completely like ruined the industry, you know. And that's not just immigration, you know. That's not just migrants doing that. Even Portuguese people, you know, like if people are like in a tough situation, in a tough economical situation, they just think, well, I think I could do this or that, let me just try. And well, then they just do a lot of shitty work on someone or a couple of people, and they eventually don't stand to the test of time, you know, because it's really tough to start tattooing. It's really hard. People only see like well, if I want to tattoo I have to spend this and that amount, so tattoo artists should get a lot of money, and we could, but until we get to that spot, to that space on getting a nice amount of money, it takes a lot, really. You have to build clientele, you have to be consistent. It's hard. And a lot of people that start doing that just for the money, eventually they don't last long, you know, because you won't get a lot of money like right away, and people just forget it, and they leave then people with shitty work, and most of those people don't even go for another round with anyone else, because they don't know if this one or that one will be better or worse. So how I decide? Well, yeah, that's kind of subjective. Yes, there's not like a table. No, like for instance, here in Portugal, it's quite common, for instance, to charge like the minimum studio amount, around 50 euros. Okay, that's what's common around here. So if you want something small, like a small name or a really small design, it probably will cost you like 50 euros. Okay. But someone can make it a little bit cheaper, others a little bit more expensive, but that's around it. But after that, it just depends on you, the value you take from yourself. If you think that you should deserve more, well, you just ask for more, okay? Okay. But yeah, look at what I was telling you. Before tattooing anyone else, do a lot of practice on these mediums, because most of people starting out will start with like a heavy hand, and they'll just simply wreck everything and destroy the whole the whole tattoo doing that. And if you are heavy-handed, the problem is that you might cause blowouts, and if you cause them, it's almost impossible to go back. So it's better to be more light-handed, because if eventually the downside of being light-handed, it's like the design won't be like fully saturated, you know, and you probably will need to retouch it. But it's better that way. At least people will not have like a completely destroyed piece of skin. It's better to retouch if needed than just to do a horrible blowout, you know. And this technique will help you a lot on that light-handedness. If I was scared on my first client, well, the first tattoo I did was within the course I took. So I had like the tattoo artist there with me all the time, so I was more or less comfortable. But the first tattoo I did on my own, like by myself, with anyone there, just me and a client, yeah, of course, I was sweating all around me. It was really hard, but it was cool. The biggest tattoo I've done was like a whole leg, a whole side of the leg, from the foot until the hip. It was the biggest. It was like 3 sessions, 3 5-hour sessions. No drawbacks, really. It's just simply easier, and sometimes, like in this case, it was a really really large tattoo, right? So I really had to do that. I wasn't able to finish the whole thing in one sitting, right? There's no drawback at all. You have to be conscious that where to stop, so when the client comes next, you can easily restart from where you stopped. and we are almost finishing here. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. There are some things that could be a little bit better, but overall, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Going a little bit darker here underneath to create a little bit more contrast. Yeah, that would be cool. Mega Gengar, why not? Yes, it could be nice. I can arrange that. That could be cool. And folks, I guess we came to an ending here. Hope you all guys liked this little. Well, let me just do here a little outline. Run here, just separate a little bit more this. Yeah. Well, I forgot today to bring up the poll. I don't know if I'm going to do Pokemon tomorrow, or if I'm going to, thank you, or if I'm going to do some Dragon Ball character, you know. I was thinking on maybe like Cell Junior from Dragon Ball, but if not, I don't know, I'll just see. But yeah, Mega Gengar will be cool as well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll think about it. However, tomorrow at around the same time, another live. Thank you all for being there. Yeah, Cell Junior, I think that would be cool. It would be a cool character. To rest a little bit on these Pokemons. Since yesterday I did Armored Mewtwo, today Blastoise, and we could intertwine with some Dragon Ball characters. Hope you guys enjoyed this little bit. Thank you for being there. Thank you, Alex, for making some company. Have a nice day as well. Have a nice Thursday.